just refresh until I got the 20 shards, 15 and a 5, right? I'd have my 7-star malevolence, my entire crew at 7 stars going into the first week. So I'm not gonna be able to do the first week. I'm not gonna have my 7-star malevolence that first week, which kind of pisses me off.
Well, I apologize. But
yeah, it's your fault, Thaddeus. It's all your bloody fault.
Most things are my fault, or the government's fault. Both are possible. Welcome. We are live. We are live. And Neil, what you just did is you gave all of the viewers a great reminder of the one thing that we will not talk about until the very end of the show. And that is the game that shall not be named. Right? Now, that's one of the rules with Breaking Bad Batch or Talking Clones or Talking Mando, all of those things, we have one rule, and that is we don't discuss it until we go live, right? Until the end, right? When we discuss everything. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Breaking Bad Batch. I am here with, as always, with to my right, Nev, who is not in the bottom bitch position.
It's because I ain't nobody's bottom bitch.
Well, I mean, that's to be debated. And underneath Paul, which is to say underneath Nev, is Paul. Welcome, gentlemen.
Are you okay, Thad?
Am I ever okay? I mean, mentally, I don't know. Yeah, I'm good, to be honest. I'm just sending a message, going live with Breaking Bad Batch.
Yeah, I just sent it in the PA.
All right, good to know. Gentlemen, episode 5. We are a third of the way through season 1 of the Bad Batch.
Allegedly.
We don't actually know. But it's, I don't know. I feel like they say that it's 16 episodes. That's the rumor. Right? Do you feel like it's going to be 16 episodes?
I hope so, to be honest with you.
No reason to think otherwise.
Yeah. I am excited.
Mother, are you kidding me? Oh, mother.
I believe Nev is playing the game that shall not be mentioned. Because that reaction is one of two things. Either he lost something in that game, or his computer's about to die again. So
one of the two.
So actually, for anyone who if we lose Nev during this live stream, you should know that 2 weeks ago is when it happened. Nev?
It happened just under a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
So you and I were live streaming, and then it was right when we stopped. It just stopped. His fan just over the CPU and his computer crapped out. The bracket crapped out, and his CPU overheated. It didn't break anything outside of the bracket.
The heat sink clamp.
Thank you. The heat sink
You're
clamp.
welcome.
It didn't break anything outside of the clamp, but it's causing Nev some undue stress. So if we lose Nev, that's why. But if he swears again, it's probably for other reasons. And I think we can all safely.
No, I was on my way. I was winning. I was on my way to 8th in the game that shall not be named, and then all of a sudden things just went.
Awesome. So
welcome to my life. Welcome to Thaddeus and my experience.
Yes.
All the time, Neil.
Yes.
Glad you could join us.
Yep. The Losers Club, baby. Woo woo. Anyways. So, this week was actually an interesting episode. The Bad Batch got a job. They are now gainfully employed.
An Outer Rim job.
Yes, it was an Outer Rim job. And it got a little messy. Wouldn't you say? They were
All Outer Rim jobs have the tendency to become messy.
There were handcuffs involved, whips. It was, oh my gosh. I hope none of my students are watching. The last thing I need is a parent.
Hey,
what
okay.
are you talking about Outer Rim jobs?
So I'm going to say this. If your kids get an innuendo joke, it's not our fault.
That's a valid point. And I do teach middle school, so they get it. I think part of the time I don't get it. Like, would they say something? I'm like, wait a second. Is there an inside joke here? Anyways, so we know that, so the premise of the show is Echo has an informant. Someone who used to work with the Jedi. Someone who used to be connected to the underworld. And he's like, this is the person. They're looking for Rex. Aren't they? Do we know what they're looking for? Or maybe...
Yeah, they were looking for...
No, they're not looking for Rex. They're looking for the person that hired the bounty hunter.
Oh, that's right.
Fennec Shand.
That's right. Although I
When
will
did
say...
you watch this episode?
I watched it Friday and then again on Saturday. Twice.
Should have watched it again today.
I should have watched.
That's something.
So
that's
right.
something you should remember. Yeah.
That is the premise of the episode. That I should have remembered that. You're right. So they're looking for Fennec Shand, the person who hired Fennec Shand, right? And they show up to Sid, and Sid is a bartender because all underworld people are bartenders. Just makes sense, right? If you are a bartender, it's likely that you are connected to the underworld of some kind, right? And then you deal in other things. And so we have this like, hey, you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. I need you to do this Outer Rim job for me. And you need to find Moochie, right? Moochie is who they're searching for, and it's a kid or a teenager of sorts. We're not given a lot of information. So they run into some Zygorian. They run into some slavers. Now, we've seen these slavers before. We've actually seen them in an episode of the Clone Wars. I want to say it was season 2 of the Clone Wars. I don't remember exactly. But we saw in an episode of the Clone Wars, and Anakin and a princess. There was a whole thing. Anyways, long story short, the Outer Rim job gets a little messy. Handcuffs and whips are involved. A cage.
So Sid playing a bartender actually kind of fit.
Right?
Do you know why?
I want to say because all bartenders are evil, right? And they're all connected to the underworld.
Sid was voiced by Rhea Perlman.
Correct. Who is
the bar woman from Cheers?
Cheers. No, I get it, right?
Okay.
Rhea Perlman, and I've said this before, married to the indomitable Danny DeVito.
Are they still married?
I don't actually know. I assumed they were. But, yeah. So it turns out that the kid they're looking for is a Rancor and not a normal child. And...
No, they split in 2017.
Oh, did they? Oh, sad. Oh, but still, Danny DeVito, awesome. Rhea Perlman, awesome. Any connection to Ron Perlman?
Your guess is as good as mine.
I feel like that's something that we should know. Although, similarity-wise, hold on. Boom.
No relation to Ron Perlman.
No relation to Ron Perlman. That's unfortunate because Ron Perlman's gigantic and Rhea Perlman is tiny. And what if they were twins? And the premise of the movie Twins with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito, it comes full circle, my friends. Oh, we've lost Paul. I think I broke Paul. I think that would be awesome. Anyways,
and now you've thrown your mic away.
And, dang it, every time. I need to get a boom mic, a filter, because when I yell a lot, it's I guess I have the boom mic because that's what this is. I just need a pop filter. Whatever. Anyways. Where was I? Ron Perlman.
You were going over the story about how the Xigerians were kidnapped from the Clone Wars.
Yes. So they Omega ends up saving the day, freeing a baby Rancor, a teenage Rancor, and then
the not so challenging Rancor.
Yes. Now that's the story, and I'm sticking to it. They end up getting some information, but there's some hints that this back and forth, this relationship between Sid and the Bad Batch will continue. Let's go over this, though. That's the story, okay? First and foremost, I've got to say, Wrecker. I love him. And I think that his death will be absolutely tragic. I think it's coming. I think season 1 finale, Wrecker's gonna sacrifice himself to save Omega.
Yeah, but you just put the Will Wrecker turn as your tease.
Oh, I know. He's gonna turn, and then he's gonna break the turn, and he'll sacrifice himself to save Omega. Because Omega's not a Jedi, right? He won't
No, Omega's a Sith.
Oh.
Omega's a clone of Palp.
I heard.
I've called this since the beginning.
I've heard the rumor that Omega is a clone of Kenobi. Now, let's get into some...
What, Neil?
Just you're all yeah.
Deep speculation here. Are you ready for this? All right. I'm tying it all together. Omega is a clone of Kenobi. She is going to somehow be wooed and or swayed by either the son of Palpatine or the clone of Palpatine, therefore making Rey Palpatine actually Rey Palpatine and Rey Kenobi. I'm calling it. That might be a little convoluted, but whoever said I'm not convoluted? I always make things way too complicated. Anyways,
why don't you just make her also a Skywalker while you're at it?
Well, she would be. She absolutely would be. One, by the Chiss definition of Skywalker, she would be, and two, by the fact that Anakin is a Skywalker, and Anakin is also a Palpatine.
That actually got debunked.
I disagree. I don't care what lore says. I disagree.
The story group has debunked the comic. It was a hallucination, not a premonition.
Oh, I disagree. I don't trust the story group. They don't know what they're talking about. Was that in a later episode? In a later Darth Vader comic?
What?
The hallucination? Or that it was a hallucination, not a premonition? Because, so what you and I are talking about is the premonition that Vader has
that it was a hallucination, not a recollection or premonition.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, the thing that we're talking about is
hello, Sephiroth.
Yeah, it's the Darth Vader comic, right, Paul?
Yes, it's Darth Vader comic run previous to this one.
Yeah, so it's essentially Darth Vader's on Mustafar. There's a magical helmet possessed by a Sith Lord who's long since dead, and it shows him this hallucination, right? Or it shows him this series of images that, you know, him being Vader, a series of images while he is on Mustafar, and one of those images shows or says that Palpatine was the one who impregnated Shmi. Right? Not like $20 for a night type impregnation, like via the Force. Right? That's
because getting raped by the Force is no different.
Well, I mean,
there's much worse stuff in the EU.
Yeah.
Original EU. Come on.
I don't want to necessarily touch that with a 10-foot clown pole, but maybe? I don't know. It's still bad. It's still bad. I'm not saying anything's bad. It's not. But moving on. That's what we were talking about. That episode or that installation in that comic. Right? Okay. So, Sid, voiced by Ron Perlman's wife. Rhea Perlman. Not Ron Perlman's wife. Sister. That's who we're talking about. Ron Perlman's sister, Rhea Perlman.
Not really sister. Oh, we might be losing Neil.
Do we? No, I've got him.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just sitting quietly, waiting
His
for me
his camera went wacky.
Oh, he's waiting for me to stop saying stupid things. So here's the thing. While they're in the bar looking for Sid, the first thing they go in and they say, hey, we're looking for a guy named Sid, right? Echo doesn't know what Sid looks like. Who's the one that figured it's Omega. So a lot of people are saying that this is an example of her being Force sensitive. Is this? I don't think it is, though. I think she just looks at who she has. She looks at the room. She reads the room and just knows.
I think she read the room, yes.
Yeah. Right?
Darth Sidious, I haven't finished the book yet. Don't spoil it.
So good, the greater good. The greater good.
The greater good. The greater
It's good. Right here. It's right here.
Oh, you're close, man. You're really close. On a side note, if anyone would like to listen to The Greater Good, Thrawn, The Greater Good, Star Wars Ascendancy.
The greater good. The greater good.
Click in the links below. You'll find Audible for 1 month, one free book. It's amazing, guys. I loved it. I absolutely do love it. And again, I think Thrawn's not the big baddie that everyone's making out to be. Anyways, so Omega dazzles
You're
Sid,
compensated for signups for the service.
and I'm compensated for it. Omega dazzles Sid and points out that she is the brains behind the operation, which we all thought was Wrecker. Let's face it. Wrecker clearly the one making the decisions for the Bad Batch. So
I thought it was Tick.
I love how she says that. It's like the most adorable thing in the world. So we go through and they give him the hint. They're like, hey, this is what you're looking for. It's on the other side of the planet. Now, this city, do you guys remember what planet this was on?
Ord Mantell.
Yes. Okay. So, I watched a video. Does anyone know what faction Ord Mantell plays home to? In both
The
old
Black Sun.
and new canon, the Black
I
Sun.
called it.
Yeah.
I called it
So,
last week.
yes, Black Sun. Okay. Now, as the Bad Batch show up, who do they see? They see a crate, they see a bunch of other stuff, but what they see is a bunch of Feline people, right? That are being sold into slavery. Now, one of the greatest Black Sun characters, and I feel like Nev will perk up when I say this, in all of the extended universe is Prince Xizor, or as that's how Nev says it, Prince Xizor.
Prince Xizor.
Xizor, but it's Xizor according to Wikipedia. Okay, now.
Yeah, because Wikipedia never get anything wrong.
I
Never.
don't think they do. I trust Wikipedia more than I trust the story group, even though it can be updated by random people. Yeah, it could be updated by me. How do you know I wasn't the one that's called it print? Put in the pronunciation as Xizor. It wasn't.
Anyway, my favorite part about Xizor is that he flies the Virago.
Yeah.
The Star Viper.
Which is a cool name for a ship.
And it's a freaking cool looking ship. It looks like a little X.
I have to look it up. Star Viper. That's Vapor. Star Wars. Oh yeah, that does look pretty dope. Let me bring.
And it was fun to fly in the X-Wing miniatures game. Anyway.
Oh, so this is the Star Viper, or some renditions of the Star Viper. All right. Okay, so here's the thing. Do you think, that being said, do you think we will see Prince Xizor, whatever, Prince X coming to the Bad Batch?
If they're going to start getting involved in underworld stuff, then it's more than likely that they're going to cross paths with somebody in the underworld.
Yeah,
it's inevitable. They will cross paths with one, if not two, of the factions of the underground. It's going to happen.
Paul, what do you think?
I mean, I also need to point out that the Black Sun and Crimson Dawn were not strangers.
No, they weren't. No, they absolutely weren't. And Paul, can you remind me who was the head of Crimson Dawn?
That would be what was his name? Oh, Dryden Voss.
Yes, Dryden Voss. Not who I was thinking of,
but a correct answer.
Now, it would be dope to see Dryden Voss, 100%. I think it would be awesome, especially considering that there are rumors that a solo series is in the work. I think that'd be really cool to kind of like tie all that stuff in. But the correct answer, no, actually that is the correct answer, because Dryden Voss is the head of Crimson Dawn. But at the head of Crimson Dawn is the Shadow Collective, and that is Maul. Now, we did see in the Clone Wars, I want to say it was season 5 or season 6, where Maul and Savage go on that like murderous rampage. I believe it was on Ord Mantell, where Maul took out, or Savage took out, like all of those Feline people. Now, I don't believe that Prince Xizor or whatever was actually amongst them, but they eventually gave to Maul, which then eventually rules Mandalore. Right? And like all of this, like all of the stuff that's going on in the Bad Batch right now is all stuff that like it's in and around the time of the Siege of Mandalore. So it's very possible that after Maul escapes that capital ship that's on its way to, after the infamous hallway scene, Maul could be collecting a bunch of stuff, getting getting his stuff ready. And if they are going to spend time on Ord Mantell, it's very possible that we could somehow run into Maul, Dryden Voss, or even Prince Xizor. I really am excited. Like, this episode, I thought was really fun because of all of the implications, right? All of the things that it could have connected with, right? Yes. Now, did you guys take a hard look at anything that was in Sid's office?
Nope.
No, I didn't. I probably should have.
So there were a few things. It wasn't anything major necessarily, but one of the things that was hanging on the wall was a clone helmet. We saw quite possibly a bantha like skin over her seat, right? Some people are speculating that the horn that is right there on her desk is a mudhorn horn, but it doesn't look big enough, to be honest. But essentially, she is going to have ties to Tatooine, which we know because, as we saw Jabba's right-hand man show up, we saw Bib Fortuna, right? And the Rancor is being purchased by Bib Fortuna. Or Jabba, right? So it's, again, very possible we could see Jabba show up, which would be amazing, because Jabba wasn't one of those groups that we know of, at least, that fell under the Crimson Dawn Shadow Collective.
No, the Hutt Cartel was somebody totally different than Crimson Dawn.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying, is like they weren't overtaken by the Shadow Collective. And so what I'm hoping for that comes out of this is a like a mafia style family war, right? And somehow the Bad Batch get caught up in it. I think that would be amazing. But am I reaching?
Well, you've just stole what I think's going to happen with the Book of Mando.
Really? So what do you think's going to happen?
I told you when we chatted about this ages and ages ago.
But
I think the Book of Mando is going to. I think
the
Book of Mando is going to be about the shadowy underworld attacking. You know, an in-gang war between the various different factions. Now that Bob has just come in and taken over from Bib Fortuna, and whoever was Bib Fortuna's handler, whatever faction he's part of, is going to come to Boba and say, "Hey, now you work for us. Bib was just sitting on Jabba's throne and doing what we wanted. Now you have to." And he'll be like, "Yeah, no. How about no?
How about I'm Boba Fett and
how about
GTFO?
no?
How about no?
How about no, you crazy Dutch bastard?"
Yeah, I think all of that could then be set up in this series, right?
I mean, it's possible that multiple different now that it's got out, that you could find competing underworld factions all trying to get the same bounty. So it's not that they end up it's that they end up in the crossfire between bounty hunter factions trying to get hold of Omega.
Yeah. And
I see it more along those lines.
Yeah. And it's still not clear, by the end of the episode, it's still not clear who is working with Fennec Shand. Who sent Fennec Shand? Darth Gillis points out, or he says that he believes that Fennec was hired by the Kaminoans, or Boba was hired by the Kaminoans, who then hired Fennec, which would make sense because Boba has a connection with the Kaminoans, right? He being a clone. And then Fennec, potentially, not even potentially, we know that she's an up-and-comer. We know that she's new. And so it's very possible that...
And Boba knew where to find Fennec when Fennec got shot in Mando.
Yeah, in season 1.
Yep.
right? And so it's very possible that like she could be joining, because this is around the same time that Boba is collecting or creating his own bounty hunter posse, right? And I don't know. I think
And the comics are currently entirely War of the Bounty Hunters.
Yep.
Just saying.
Yep. And it all connects, guys. And again, from a business perspective, and this, Nev and I talk about this a lot, but like from a business perspective, you start with comics, then you move to like cartoons or television, and then you go to full feature films, right? Or comics, then books, then films, then television, then, television and films. And so, like, I feel like that's what they're hitting at. They're going towards, So, I've got to say, jumping ahead, once they get the information, they go after Moochie or Mochi. Is it Mochi?
Moochie.
Moochie.
It's Moochie.
Moochie, right? They're looking around. The boys get captured, and Omega has to save the day. Now, I gotta say, one of the things that I both love and hated about this episode, was the Rancor, because I wanted different things to happen.
Baby Rancor.
The baby Rancor, right?
Was an adolescent Rancor, wasn't full grown.
So I liked it, but I wanted things to happen differently. So we see
I kind of liked it with Wrecker.
No. That's the part I loved. I wanted something to happen differently. So we see the Zygathians. We see the cat people, and they're evil because all cats are evil. And they end up capturing the Bad Batch, right? And they go through and they talk. They're like, hey, we're gonna sell you because all this other stuff, right? Omega comes, she saves him. What I wanted to happen, Wrecker taking shots, swapping shots with the Rancor, I thought was hilarious. I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a wonderful way for the Rancor to subdue Wrecker, or for Wrecker to subdue the Rancor. But when the Rancor was fighting the like lizard creature, I really wanted the Rancor to like climb on the lizard creature's back and like have it fly off to try to like get the Rancor off its back. I thought that would have been awesome. Like a baby Rancor on top of a lizard thing.
So you're fantasy booking and once again becoming disappointed because you're fantasy booking Star Wars how you want everything to be.
Absolutely.
And which is the problem that Star Wars falls into nowadays.
Star Wars fans have a tendency. I don't see why there's a problem with that, Paul. Why didn't they read my mind?
Exactly.
Why is Dave Filoni not reaching out to me or returning my calls or lifting the restraining order? I'm just kidding. I don't have a restraining order, nor do I know his number. And if I did, that'd still be weird. I don't like calling random people as it is, even though it's like, hey, Dave Filoni, you don't know me, but I've got your phone number. Too much though, like too cartoony, or just the right amount of cartoony.
It is a cartoon.
No, I get that, but like, that's one of the problems that people are having.
Their ship landed without repulsor blasts.
Yeah.
Too cartoony?
I think so. There need to be repulsor blasts now, Paul. No, but like, so this is one of the things that a lot of people...
And your mic is gone again, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
This is one of the things...
You're really quiet.
Am I?
Yeah, now you're there.
Now you're fine again.
So this is one of the things that I've watched a lot of like the reaction videos, the review videos. A lot of people don't like the fact that Wrecker and the Rancor got into a fist fight because it was almost too silly. And the answer is it is too cartoony. But what Paul said is right. It is a cartoon. This specifically is meant for kids. It is. It's going to have its darkness. But it's still going to be cartoony. Right? Here's the thing.
It's an animated show. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty much a given.
Here's the thing. Okay? Wrecker's been complaining about headaches. Even in this episode, he complained about a headache.
Right at the beginning, yeah.
Right at the beginning. He then gets into a face-punching fist fight with a Rancor.
He's got a concussion.
Clearly he's got a concussion. Wrecker's had many concussions over his life. I'm sure of it. But the question I have is that going to worsen whatever's going on with the chip? I think so. I think that's exactly what's happening.
But Tech is gonna still fix it by the end.
Will it be in time?
Yes.
You think? Nev?
If he's gonna sacrifice himself, it's gonna be in time. If your fantasy booking of this happens, it's gonna be in time.
I think
they'll remove the chips in time. They'll remove the chips in time during the Rex episode when they do finally bump into Rex.
But they're also going to find Crosshair, who's probably got some weapon that can turn up the aggression of those chips.
Yeah. You know what I think? You know what I think it is? It's not that it's not that Rex will fix them. I don't think Rex will be able to fix them. I think love will fix them. It will be love for Omega that helps them overcome the chip, the Imperial technology, or the Kaminoan technology. It's love. You know why? You know why? Because we don't fight the things we hate. We fight for the things we love. I don't know what she said. I don't remember.
By saving what we love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to do. They're going to save Omega and therefore render the chip useless.
Okay, whatever. Cuckoo. Crazy person here.
And
Okay.
that's why people watch Thaddeus.
Yes.
All their chips are just going to be removed.
They are.
And Rex, and it's going to be the episode where they find Rex, and Rex is going to explain exactly what they need to remove their chips, and then that's what they're going to do. They're going to remove their chips, and they've got Omega there to help as well because she knows exactly what they are, and she's going to be there. She'll be there to she'll be there to help out.
Yep, indeed.
Because she's part of the squad now.
She is part of the squad now.
She's got her own communicator.
Well, you know what that is, though, right? You remember how last week I said they're going to give her like a teddy bear on a string? That's what that is. They gave her one of those backpack elastic teddy bears that says you can only go so far away. That's what that was. Called it. They just did it in the form of a communicator. Right? I would have loved to have seen her running around with like a stormtrooper backpack, with like an elastic cord, but they gave her a communicator. I mean, it's the exact same.
Well, they've made her clothes match the color of their armor.
Yes.
I don't know if you noticed that, but didn't have any food, but they have the colored material to perfectly match her new clothes.
Pigments?
Yeah, but
you can't eat paint pigment.
I mean,
you can. It just wouldn't
could.
be very good for you.
And you'd probably die. No, but like
it was lead-based, Neil.
It was lead-based.
It was lead-based.
No, it's carbon scoring, right? She took like ash and just colored it black. It's not like she colored that little doll pink or something. I mean, she just colored it black. They have black armor. It all makes sense. It all connects.
She's got a weapon now as well.
She does have a weapon.
Yep, she's got her own weapon now.
Yep, she took the Zygerian bow and arrow, plasma bow, right? So she's armed. $20 says she shoots Wrecker.
Well, no, I'm just
least
curious as to
accidentally.
I'm just curious as to who is going to take her on the range with it, you know? Because she's got a weapon now, she needs to learn how to, you know, properly use it. So one of them has to show her how to properly use it. So, you know, they'll be on some planet and they'll set some things up on a rock and they'll start, you know, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
so hold it out and you aim, you know, there's going to be some bonding experience there.
And a
for her.
montage.
It's just, you know,
There needs to be a montage.
you know, who gets the bonding experience? Because, you know, Hunter's had enough. You know, it needs to be someone else.
Yeah.
Even
Maybe
Rocky had
Ted.
a montage.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Rocky.
We're gonna need a montage.
Yeah. Getting
Oh, yeah.
stronger.
An 80s, gonna need an 80s montage.
Yep. Yep. And if they don't do it, we should put one together. Just like a montage with Rocky music in the background. But a little offbeat so we don't get, you know, flagged. So I
Your channel.
that's true, but I don't want to get flagged. I mean, that's I try to avoid being flagged at all possible. So where was I?
Yes.
They come back. They come back to Sid's. They have the Rancor. It's been a wonderful fist fight. And Bid Fortuna, he picks up his little baby Rancor. Little cute, cuddly 3-ton Rancor. And there's a moment, a very tender moment between Wrecker and the Rancor, where Wrecker kind of gives him like the, hey, good fight, buddy. And the Rancor turns around and like salutes him. Right? He's like, I thought it was a very powerful moment in the episode. Do you guys remember
I'm
that?
sure you did. No,
Because I just made it up.
it was so powerful. I can't remember it happening.
No, I do love the there was a head nod of sorts. You know, Wrecker was like, whatever. I accidentally gave them a couple name. Rancor. That needs to stick. Wrecker and Rancor need
Not
to
Whooshy?
Whoosh. Whooshy sounds cool too. Oh, I just want one day in a later season for that Rancor to come back somehow and Wrecker to ride her into battle. I think that would be amazing. I think it would be so good. Now, I will say, like, the episode ends, it kind of wraps it up. We don't have a full, you know, Sid doesn't give all this enough information about Fennec Shand. We don't know who she's officially working for. We get a little bit more information about her, but it's stuff we already know as an audience, but they find out as the clones, or as the group. One of the things, though, that is interesting is that, yes, they're going to come back and work with her because Sid points out, like, hey, you know, an assassin like that or a bounty hunter like that coming after you guys, it means that you guys are worth something, you know. But I could keep secrets because my job is about secret keeping. Like, there's definitely going to be some kind of double cross there. I mean, that's
Double cross.
Yeah. AC asks, is this the Rancor that dies in Return of the Jedi? No. The Rancor that dies in Return of the Jedi is a male Rancor. It has a different name. I forget what it is. But this is a female Rancor and not the same. So,
Patisa.
Katisa?
Patisa.
Patisa. So, yeah. Different Rancor. That's
Did you
it's a spot on Jabba.
catch that Bib Fortuna swore?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the thing that I was excited about this. I got to go back and watch it. There's another swear word. We got another Star Wars swear. I don't remember what it is. But Sid says it like 3 times. So we've got Dank Ferric and something that Sid says. I've got to go back and double check. But that's 2 swear words.
Okay, but
3 if you count Criff. Go ahead.
Woohoo!
But no, Bib Fortuna said poodoo.
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 So 4.
That's not bad.
Poodoo. But
I know it's not bad, but
That doesn't count.
I think it's
Star Wars shit.
Yeah, which makes when Anakin says it so much more vile. You're like, oh, he's just said poop. No, he didn't. He just said shit. Right?
No, he
that
didn't.
kid's got a foul mouth. Anakin was a bad seed from the beginning. Right? He's in street gangs. He's doing illegal races. He's swearing all the time. Granted, he loves his mom, which, I mean, what gangster at heart doesn't love their mother? I mean, Tupac sang about his mama. So, anyways. So yeah, totally different Rancor. Anakin's a terrible person. And we have now 4 swears. And we need to count these. I'm actually gonna do that. Go back and find out how
You're gonna change your name too, since
Poodoo. Going Poodoo. Ah, that would actually fit, to be honest, because I do spend a lot of time on the toilet. It's where I do most of my heavy thinking and other things. Relieving of heavy things. Yes. All right. So, what did you guys think, episode-wise? Nev, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It was what I was looking for. I said that they needed to actually do some stuff, and they did some stuff in this episode. So yeah, I'll go 3.5.
All right, Paul.
You know what? This was one of those episodes that I really enjoyed watching. It made me laugh, and it certainly had a way about it of pushing the storyline a little farther without even realizing it until the very end.
Yeah.
So I am going to give it a 3.5 as well.
All right. I am going to give this. I'll stay with you. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I was kind of torn between a 3.5 and a 4, but I don't think it's at 4 just. I think maybe a little more action. Maybe a little bit longer, right? I'm starting to get a little sad that the episodes are starting to become more traditional TV episodes, you know? I still want 30-minute episodes before credits, you know? But it's hitting to the 21, 23 mark, which is fine. But yeah, I'm going to say 3.5 as well. So that gives us an even 3.5 across the board. That way we don't have to do any weird, crazy math like I always end up making us do. What do you think will happen in the next episode? Where does it go from here?
I think they're going to go looking for Rex. Or Rex. I think they'll go looking for Rex because Wrecker's headaches are going to get really, really, really bad, and Omega's going to be like, maybe it's the chip causing the problem, and we need to get it out.
I'm going to say that we get a Crosshair episode. We find out what Crosshair's been up to after just a little bit of Bad Batch to keep the people who need to always have the good characters shown.
I think Paul's right. I think Nev's right. I think you're wrong on the presentation, though. I think what we're going to see is what Paul's saying is that back and forth. I think they're going to get another job that will put them in contact with Rex. right? And it won't get a full like storyline. It'll be the start of a storyline for them, but we will get more Crosshair, right? I think we're gonna see what Crosshair is doing. I think, as I've said before, I'm confident that is Iden Versio in Inferno Squad that he's teamed up with. And so I think we're going to see them doing some dark stuff. And I don't know. I think that it's very possible that, you know, there's going to be a crossover. If it is, I think it's, personally, I think it's going to be a full Crosshair episode. Right? And the only part of the Bad Batch that we'll get is Crosshair on their tail, hunting them down. So, but I think it's very possible that we'll get a link between the two of them. So, all right. What do you guys have coming up this week?
Well, it's all a bit in the air, really, at the moment, because GAC registration started early, a day early than normal. So everybody's kind of like, schedules are kind of a little bit up in the air at the moment, because people have their schedules based around what GAC is. And unfortunately, it's kind of throwing a spanner in the works at the moment. So, yeah, it's going to be...
But if anything, the season finale this week of the Escape Pod cast will not be on a attack night for GAC, and we invite everybody to watch it.
Yeah.
Especially with the season finale radio drama, as always happens.
Oh, yes, definitely.
I hear that this week's radio
and
drama
it will be
really
useful. It will be useful with it not being on a, it not being on a, not being on a Friday, because obviously the attacks are now going to be. I don't know. Maybe it was something that they thought of. Maybe they deliberately switched it. They're like, well, let's have, so the fight nights will be Tuesday night, Thursday night, and Saturday night.
I'd be down with
plus
that.
It gives, the thing is, it gives the second, it gives people more time on a weekend to do their second and third round, because people can either do their third round on on a Thursday evening, or Friday morning, Friday afternoon, and then they can either do it on a Saturday night or a Sunday afternoon, as opposed to the other way around, which was they'd either have to do it on a Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, or a Sunday evening, Monday morning, Monday afternoon. And maybe they just thought, if we start it a day earlier, people will have more of the weekend to do Grand Arena. I don't know. We'll just have to.
Very possible. I think we'll get some
see.
kind of information.
But I mean, it's good for us because no attack phase on show nights.
Yeah, and
but
again, this radio drama sounds interesting. I'm curious.
Well, you'll have to tune in and find out the culmination.
I will.
Of what happens in this radio drama.
Yeah. I'm actually going to be out of town the week after next, so I've got to get some videos made for that. So, so among other things. So with that, guys, thanks for joining me. Thank you guys for joining us all.
I put my teeth in for you.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And they're beautiful teeth. That smile is just heartwarming.
You know what? It really is. I'm so happy with it.
Good. That's awesome. Anyways, Paul, will you lead us out?
I will. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here. And remember to like and subscribe to Going Nerdy right here. And also, remember to smile and be nice to each other, damn it. And
stay nerdy.